All right, so tonight we are talking about a very fascinating topic and one that I think is incredibly timely at the same time. So we are going to be talking about the ideal business for seniors and discover an opportunity that can provide residual income for your retirement. So we all know you can't work your entire life. Well, actually you can, but it's not necessarily preferable, that's for sure. At some point, you'd have to retire. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean your expenses will retire with you. We still have bills to pay and food to buy, and there's still expenses that need to be paid for. So you still need to earn money, not only to sustain your daily needs, but if possible, to enjoy the rest of your retirement doing what you love or going to places that you've always wanted to visit. So in this wealthy webinar, we have a very special guest, Rena Graham from way down south, who is going to share her experience with a business opportunity that is perfect for seniors who are looking for a way to receive income without having to work full time. So here's what you're going to learn tonight. You're going to learn the problems that many seniors face when they try to earn an income, how seniors can earn from home, the benefits of a network, of being a network entrepreneur, and how to get started, plus so much more. So tonight, as I said before, we have a very special guest, Rena Graham. And Rena was a single mom with a teenager to support when she was first introduced to some health and wellness products. And a friend encouraged her to consider her own home-based business online since her family had been enjoying the products or the company's products for years. And over the last 43 years, her online business has provided her with a lifestyle of freedom, a generous income, 6 bonus cars, and numerous all-expense paid travel or incentive trips to different destinations. So Rena, thank you so much and welcome. I will let you take it away.
All right. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about are the problems that seniors face when they're trying to earn income. And we'll go to the next slide. Now they've listed there's often just very few job opportunities for seniors, and lots of times the employees want to hire the younger applicants, and some seniors just don't even have the energy to work full time. And I thought about a few other things. You know how probably everybody, seniors included, just wish they could have a flexible work schedule, working when and where they wanted. And probably everybody that has to commute wishes that they didn't have to. And so I thought, if all of that is what we're looking for, really, I think what it is we're looking for freedom to work the way we want to. And tonight we're going to talk about a way that I found that I can do that. So we'll go on to the next slide, and this is a very rich man, and I decided I would listen to him. It says, if you don't find a way to make money when you sleep, then you're just going to work until you die. And the first time I heard that, I didn't really know what he meant until, if we'll go on to the next slide, understood that there are several ways, as it says, that people can make money. They can work from home, but the best options are those that provide passive or residual income. And when I understood what that was, I thought, that's something that appealed to me. So back when life found me a single mom, I thought I didn't want a job away from home. And I realized that what I really was wanting was a job that would give residual income. So this is a definition of passive income. It's revenue that comes from work that's performed only once or with minimal, I like that word, or no effort in maintaining it. And that definitely appealed to me. So we're going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to show you how it says for seniors, one of the ideal methods to earn residual income is through online network marketing. So what I'd like to do is use this, just sort of camp out at this slide for a few minutes. And I'd like to explain how this worked to give me the benefits and can give you the benefits, perhaps. So this is how it worked for me. And also, as I talk about these people, I'm going to tell you some things I learned as they were join me in my business. So the very first person, if that's me up there at the front, we'll choose the lady over here on the side. And I thought the very first person that I was able to bring into this online business was someone that she and I both were PTA officers, and that was Alice Cole. That was many, many years ago, I think 1990 something. But it really helped me see that if you're going to be finding prospects for your business, you do need to be involved with some things. We can't just be a hermit at home. So Alice is one of those leaders that's never wavered all these years, and all of us want to find people like Alice. And then the second one, well, I think it's appropriate. It looks like maybe a man here with a tie. So I'm going to tell you what I learned about, actually it was a man and his wife. And I learned that people referring others to either our brand products or the business can really be a benefit. So this is how it worked with me. This little person here is represented by Dr. Stephen Cameron and his wife, Dawn. And they were introduced to the products by a friend. And I didn't even know he was a physician for a long time. But the products that our company offer had made such a difference in he and his family's health that they began sharing them with their friends and family and even a few of his patients. So having the Camerons in my organization really taught me that referrals are very important. And so the third little person down here that we would look at is, I think what this is going to, that I'd like to share with you is sometimes family members really surprise us. You know, my story is that my son, Brandon Cobia, had an avid interest in fitness, and so much that he even traveled to Dallas to be certified by that Cooper Institute as a personal trainer at the same time that he was getting a master's at Auburn University for kinesiology. Well, Brandon came back from school one day and he said, you know, Mom, I really didn't think much about the products that I grew up using. I thought surely there's better ones at health food stores. And he said, I've tried them all and I really can see that the products that you offered me growing up are better for me, even those sports line products. And so he said jokingly, I'm going to look at my notes, I can remember he'd stick his head in my little office in my bedroom and he'd say, when are you going to retire, Mother? Not that he really wanted me to, but he liked to joke with me because he knew I was enjoying it so much that I didn't have any thoughts about retiring. But years later, when Brandon married and he and his wife began building their, Cherie, began building their own online business, I did legally transfer my business to them at the point of my death. And I think that's really a neat thing to think you can build a business and pass it on to your family, either before you pass on or afterwards. So, all right, so the fourth little person, we could just...
There for a second, Rena. Can you also share on that note of being able to pass it down? How far can you pass this business down?
How far can you pass it down?
Yeah, how long? How many generations could it go?
Oh, well, no, that would just be one generation. But, you know, already he teases his children about, you know, I'm going to pass this business on to you when it's time for them. And they really believe it. So you can pass it on and on, I guess. I've known of actually people that are working their grandmother and great-grandmother's business now. So that's neat, isn't it?
That is very cool. And I just wanted to point that out because it's not just a first line generation that you can pass it to. You can pass it to grandchildren, great-grandchildren. So when you're building your organization, you can think my greats may be able to take advantage of this.
I know.
And set up an amazing lifestyle for them. So thank you for that.
Right. Because, if you have some other type business, like a plumbing business, probably, that's not going to be passed on. All right. So let's move on to the fourth person. I'm just going to talk about a few more. But the fourth person in my network marketing group that I learned some things from actually happened in another state. So I had lived in Montgomery a long time, like 31 years. But the freedom of being able to just move wherever you wanted to really was enticing. And so I moved to Franklin, Tennessee. It's a suburb of Nashville. And while I was there were many customers that were added. But one day when I was walking around my condo area where there were other condos, I met a man and woman, Ray and Josephine Dye. And they were about my age, which at that point was 10 years ago. So we weren't spring chicks. But anyway, they chose to grow their own thriving online business. So working with them and others while I lived in Franklin, it was really a fun experience. And then the last one I would point out was, I don't know if you've moved around a lot of places, but I've really lived in so many states. And so, although I lived in Montgomery the longest, and so after being up there in Nashville for a while, it really was time to come on back to my roots. And Birmingham, Alabama is my home. So I knew that moving wasn't going to hurt my business at all. And so about 8 years ago, I moved on back down here to Montgomery. And that's where I learned that even if someone says, Rena, I'd like to know about those products that you've told me about, we always need to present the business because the friend from church, Suzanne Davis, and she is a RN. One day she just sat by me in church and she said, I'm ready to come over and let you tell me about those products that you offer. And when she came, I was careful to also present the business opportunity. And she surprised me. I thought she was coming to buy one or two products. And before she left, she said, I see this as a wonderful business opportunity. So, I guess we might say that I learned always be sure to, whether you're talking to people about your brand of products or your business, cover both of those subjects because you never know where their interest is. So, as you see, as I've added customers and developed leaders, your income is bound to grow exponentially. And many of my earliest customers are still buying hundreds of dollars of products every month. And you know why? It's because the products work. It's because I chose a good brand to connect with. So as this says, with online network marketing, the only time and energy consuming part is prospecting. And that's true. We have to always be open to listening to people's needs. And I learned early on, don't necessarily talk about their needs right when you hear about it, but just pay attention because there will be an opportunity to offer something like this to them. So once you get a commitment from your customers and you show them how to build their own team, that's what I did to those people that we just talked about, how they came into my life. Then you can start earning even while you're offline or not doing any specific work-related task. And that little part that is in bold print there, that really means a lot to me, and I'll tell you why. Because to be able to just work, whether you're traveling or just sitting on the porch and not working, or even when I'm sleeping, one of the most exciting things is waking up every morning and seeing all the orders that have come through. So I love the fact that we can earn even when we're not specifically working. So we'll go on, and one thing we might want to talk about, just mention, is while we got this business, something you'll want to check into later is the wonderful tax benefits from having this type online business. So you see here it says, what inspired me to make my online business work? And it's not hard for me to, I want to find my notes here, but it's not hard for me to be able to explain to you what was the inspiration, because other than income, which I definitely needed that, and you know what, it has grown every year since the 90s. And income is really important. But I tell you, the perks are also meaningful. And so having a new car with my partner company, making those car payments and earning the yearly all expense paid incentive trips for 2, that's what kept me striving to do a little more every year. And I want to tell you where some of those trips were. To Barcelona, twice to Hawaii, to London, to Greece, to Cancun, and a year or 2 ago to Los Cabos, Mexico. And for the most part, I've been a senior that was single, and it was nice being able to just take family or friends on those trips with me. So I would like for you to just imagine, how would it feel the benefits of this. So how would it feel if you just could have a new car and without having car payments? Or can you imagine earning an all expense paid vacation to dream destinations for you and someone else? Or suppose you didn't have to worry about existing on Social Security alone. I'll tell you, that's something that I probably thought about. Today I am 77 years old. And so ever since I was 65 and getting Social Security, or maybe a few years earlier, I've been so grateful that that's not what I had to depend on as a single person for my livelihood. So that's something to think about. So I can tell you how that having this online network business all these years has made me feel. I can tell it to you in a sentence. It's like waking up every morning feeling like a 10-year-old kid on Saturday morning. In other words, freedom. So, these are some benefits, all right? It requires minimal investment, really minimal. You don't have to sell. It can be done anywhere using your computer, your tablet, or your phone, and it allows you to be your own boss. I love deciding when I'm going to work and when I'm going to play. It can be run without quitting your side job, your main job. We call it having a side gig, getting that side gig started. It gives you control over your schedule and provides multiple streams of income. It can add supplemental retirement funds. And so I have a question for you. What's going to be easier for you? Is it going to be easier to continue fighting traffic and working for someone else until you're 65? Or is it easier to just start your part-time business now so that maybe next year you can work out of your home? Because I think it's a perfect time to take a look at what online business can do for you and your family. And the best time to start a business like this is when we're young. But the next best time is now.
That is excellent and so true. It's such a great time to start it and to take a look. And I just have one question for you, Rena, because we know what's happening in the world. It's been quite crazy the last few months, or not even months, the last few weeks has been a huge shock to people. What have you noticed in your business in spite of what's happening?
Oh, Kristen, actually, I have noticed the company said that they had an increase of 68% over last month. And I was telling my son today what my volume is for this month. And he said, Mom, you have too. You just look. He said, you've had almost a 70% increase in volume over last month. And you know what? Obviously, I love these products, but I think in times when it's tough, Kristen, I think that people realize they want quality. And that's what I've seen. And so I've actually been busier these last couple of weeks. Friends will say, I'm just bored to death. Aren't you bored? And I thought, no, I'm not bored because it's really been fun working with people and seeing some changes being made in their lives.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know that was going to be a question on a few people's minds. So knowing that, crazy things can be thrown at us and we can still have an amazing, thriving business. So with that, Rena, I just want to give a huge thank you to you for sharing this amazing information, and also to all of our attendees who are watching this, whether you're in the Zoom room with us or if you're watching us live. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this webinar. And I look forward to seeing you in our upcoming events. And if you have any questions, or if you want to look at what an opportunity like this can do for you, reach out to the person who invited you, and they'd be happy to show you what it's all about. There's nothing more valuable than knowing what your options are, and the best way to do that is to be informed and to get the information, and that's what we are here to do. So thank you everybody for joining. Again, Rena, thank you so much for taking the time. And that's excellent. And we will see you all. Next time for our next webinar. Thanks a bunch, guys. Take care.